We've created a special offer just for listeners of the podcast. You can get the book, A World of Creativity, for a special price of $5.98 for paperback, and the Kindle version is only 99 cents. Go to mark-stinson.com to take advantage of this special offer. Tap into your most original thinking. Organize your ideas and create the opportunities to launch your creative work. Unlocking your world of creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator, Mark Stinson.
Welcome back, friends, to our podcast, Unlocking Your World of Creativity. And we love to go around the world talking to creative people about how they get inspired and how they organize ideas, and most of all, how they gain the confidence and connections to launch their work out into the world. And I'm so happy today to be talking to someone who's not only a brand strategist, but she's lived and worked in some of the world's most, what I say and she calls, captivating cities. Of course, New York, London, and Paris, but maybe places we don't think about as captivating and creative, and that Santiago, Casablanca, Barcelona, Beirut. And welcome, Egle, Karalyte.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Well, you said you were in Lisbon now, so yeah, the travels continue.
Yeah, the travels continue indeed after a break we had with all the lockdown, but yeah, back on the road.
I love that. I love to think about meeting new and creative people in coffee shops wherever they are. And here you are in Lisbon now. Have you found any great coffee shops?
It's my second day in Lisbon, so I'm still researching, still finding my way around. Don't yet have a favorite one.
Yes.
Anywhere where you see the pastel de nata that's looking good, that's the place to be, because yeah, I like those old-fashioned traditional places here. So
There you go. And do you find
yeah.
I do? That's just a great place to meet people, talk about life and times and creative
Yeah,
projects.
of course it's a great hub for meeting people, yeah. Especially if you find the cafe you love. So
There you go. In your brand strategy work, you really build in a lot of interaction, collaboration, beyond brainstorming. Tell us
yeah.
about why you think that engagement and teamwork is so important to the creative process.
Yeah, so whenever you're building a brand or any kind of product or any maybe creative project, in order for it to be useful and interesting for the people, you really need multiple skill sets for this output to be accepted in the world. And usually one person it's really impossible for one person to have all the skills needed to make a successful launch and a successful addition to what there is out there in the world. So having a team of people who really create a very harmonic and united whole, like a support system for the idea, is super important. There's just so much that one person can do. We always hit the limits of that. But if you get engaged people with complementary skills that you don't have, you can really develop a very wholesome product or project. So
Yes.
that's why teamwork, collaboration is so important.
And as the team leader and often the group process facilitator,
Yeah.
is it your feeling that people, they might naturally gravitate into teamwork, but you found that there are tools, even games, that really engage this team and bring them together quicker, faster, and more productive? What's your
Yes.
experience?
Yes, so I've been running design and branding workshops around the world for, I don't know, now maybe 10 years. And I did that in different cultures and different contexts. And the tools that I've developed really came out of that necessity that I saw when doing workshops to bring in those triggers or bring in the icebreakers that are needed to activate the flow within the workshops and to activate the teamwork even more. So tools can really eliminate those empty how do we say, states in a workshop that's like frozen states where you just don't know how to get out of that situation, or like their lack of ideas on the table. So the ideation tools that I've developed are exactly for that purpose, to just take you to another state much faster. So yeah, it can save a lot of time. It can really open new territories of discussion. And I think any great facilitator that has a set of tools to bring in any workshop also can make the process much more fun. I'm a big believer that fun playtime is what can relax people, what can bring in new ideas because of that. And when the creative juice is flowing, I think there are no limits to what can be generated in the workshop. So
And
if
it
you
is
have
that
the
fun,
tool,
isn't it? That
yeah, it
often
has
the
to be
thread you
fun.
think about, you mentioned the cross culture. I think about
Yeah.
workshops I've also facilitated across
Hmm.
Europe and the Middle East, Northern Africa, the places you've worked, Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
The cultures of creativity and even what should I say, the extrovertness of maybe the
Yes, it's different.
participation is so
Yeah,
different. And do
very.
you find these tools and workshop games tend to help break those differences down?
Yes, very much, very much. Of course, a facilitator has to, let's say, push the gear in different ways in every context, because exactly like you said, the level of dynamics and the level of, yeah, the way people communicate is so different. Like one culture is much more playful and social than the other, and the facilitator needs to know what type of things they should highlight, or they should fill in the gaps in order for the whole workshop to be successful. So here it's not so much the tools that can make a difference, but the skill set, the mastery of the facilitator, to know how to make sure that the group is really at ease, and everything is in place in order to really activate the group dynamics.
Wonderful. Egle, one of the specific games that I was watching a great video on, you called the
Hmm.
Bloomerang game.
Yes.
Love this name, love this title. And wow,
Thank-
it's not, when you say it's a big game, this thing covered a big table.
yeah,
Lots of
yeah,
things
yeah.
involved in it. Why don't you walk us through it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Bloomerang game is my latest creation. So it's 150 centimeters width, which is like 4.9 feet. In inches, let's see,
Hmm.
actually, in inches, I need to just Google that. It's 59 inches.
I love that. Yes.
Yeah. So it's a huge game. I wanted to create something that would really inspire to think big, and would get people around the table, and would really be almost like an interactive installation in the space. So the purpose of the Bloomerang game is to help creators gain the state of clarity for the next steps they should do in their venture. So whether you're creating a brand or a product or something just creative, any kind of project that you come to play the game will ask you the right questions in order to help you crystallize your next level of success and build a marketing system that will help you to take it out into the world. The game has really three use cases. So first is the brand transformation game. So as I mentioned, for creating a brand and marketing system for your idea. The second is a search under the sun game for those people that are still searching what they would like to do, what is their mission, what is their purpose. It's a slightly deeper dive into your own inner talents. And then the third use case is a team cohesiveness game. So for teams who want to harmonize and mobilize the team towards a common goal, it's a perfect game to do that. And we have an analog version that I say it's the game with all the ideation tools that I've created. And we've just launched a tablet driven version. So basically, this game board is controlled by a tablet, and a lot of people can play it. So you're not limited by a certain group. It can be installed in big spaces where kind of any passing by a community member can play the game fully or just have a taster of it. So it's very cool. I'm very excited about that. And yes, I'm gonna go out and also see a few places in Lisbon, few co-working spaces where potentially this could be installed. We are going to Berlin Design Week in beginning of May to showcase also the game there. And yeah, and a few other things are lined up. So it's just the beginning.
Yeah, I love that. I love the fact that you're converting. What I see in the video is lots of cards and game pieces and dice and people
Yes.
moving things around. It's good that you've been able to translate some of that into a digital format.
Yeah, yeah. Like I didn't want to make it a fully digital game because I think a lot of people need that physical touch, and I'm one of them. But a digitally enabled game, yeah, that's something I'm pretty proud of what we've managed to do by now.
Yes. This gamification, obviously a big theme, but thinking back to your own childhood and your
Mhm.
upbringing, what sort of creative games or inspirations did you have growing up that now
Yeah.
inform the work that you're doing?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Were
I
you
mean,
were you a
maybe.
fun kid? Did you enjoy
Oh
fun?
yeah, I
I
was
bet
just
you were.
playing all the time. I was playing all the time, and I was lucky enough to have, I mean, to have had a lot of freedom in my childhood. Yeah, my parents would just allow me to do whatever I was interested in, and I was always very creative. Like I used to spend a lot of summers with my great grandmother in her house. She had a huge garden, and we would like do some embroidery or some sort of craft stuff. And I used to love painting dolls and clothes for the dolls, like these
Yes.
sort of old-fashioned games. Yeah, I would always be doing something and creating something. So maybe not so much the type of games I was playing. Like I never had like our parents never bought games for us. Like we had some sort of mini gym at the house, but we would always invent things ourselves. And so maybe not so much the kind of games I was playing that informed what I'm doing now, but that process of having full freedom to just go do your ideas and go for your ideas and just let your imagination take you, that I had the environment to grow in that. I had the opportunity to grow in that environment. And I think that formed me and is very much the way I still live today. So,
Yes, that childlike curiosity and fun,
yes,
which I
yes,
guess leads oftentimes, and I think about maybe the groups that you facilitated and how even people initially react to, oh, great, we're going to play a game.
yeah,
But eventually maybe it catches on because people say, are you born creative? Do you develop the creativity? Can you learn creativity?
yeah.
This kind of environmental acceptance of your creative side. What's been your experience with that?
I think everyone is creative in one way or another. It's just that I think it's very important the kind of environment we grow in and what type of friends or family surround us. Because if we are allowed to experiment and to just go with our creative flow, I think anyone will find certain ways that they are creative in. There are levels of creativity, like you might not be the you kind of create a whole idea from scratch that nobody has ever done before, but you might make spins or twists on ideas that are already there. So that's another sort of another dimension. But as long as you are in the environment that allows you to be yourself and doesn't block you, I think anybody can flourish or develop creativity further in that environment. We are all creative. It's just like where you're allowed to develop that and to nurture that and to experiment with that, or where you're not. If
Mhm.
you weren't, that then of course that's blocked within you, and then you
Yes.
think you might be not creative, but it's not the case. Everyone is creative. I think during the Bloomerang game, we go deep into people's blocks, as they say, and it's very inspiring when at the end of the game people really light up, and because they have unlocked something within them that they thought they never had.
Yes, very encouraging. And I
Yeah,
think if I take the devil's advocate for a second, some people may be listening
yeah,
to us and say, but Agle, it was easy for you. I've looked at your client list and you've worked in an incubator with the New School, MTV
yeah,
Lebanon, a Google campus. These people are naturally creative and fun. But what about
yeah,
my company? Yeah,
yeah.
it's what
I
about in
didn't
my
work.
corporate environment?
Yeah, I know. I worked in corporate environment as well. Like I started my career on Wall Street in New York City. So I know what that also feels like, how some environments can be a little bit, how do we say, stiff.
Yes,
But
exactly.
then if you're feeling that you're in the environment that you don't flourish, like the question is, what are you doing there? Maybe it's time to change. But if it's the environment that is not, you feel like you can influence it and you can help to improve it, so maybe there's just something you need to take initiative on and then suggest, why don't we try this, why don't we try that? Because if your environment, you feel like there is potential for people to grow, it's just that there are not that many growth opportunities, maybe then you are actually the person that could bring this in and could color up the atmosphere and add more play and change the dynamics. So I've been in both of these situations. I've been in an environment where I felt like, I don't know what I'm doing here. It's really not my place, and I left. But I also was in environments where I felt like, okay, like maybe it's not the vibration or the energy level that I would love to have, but once I started bringing in the ideas and shake things up a little bit, I saw that the environment was flexible enough. It was co-creating with me, with people who were open for that. They were looking for what I was able to bring. And then it just worked out great. Like I elevated things.
Yes, I do see that taking the initiative.
Yeah,
What energy are you bringing into the room? Not just what
yeah.
energy are you taking, from the other people.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. There always has to be a co-creation with your environment. So if you are initiating that and let's say it's not happening, it's bouncing off the wall all the time, then yes, maybe you're not really in that environment that's gonna help you grow. But maybe it's the environment that just needs that activation from you. And then if you see that there's a response and there's always an exchange, then I love those environments because you can create a lot of things, you can bring in a lot of things, and you can really shape up the environment. And that's a great place to be.
Definitely. And I think this, not to maybe fuel a debate over whether we should be working remotely at home or working in a corporate office, but this
Mhm.
debate seems to be lingering. We really haven't
Yeah.
settled on what is the value of creative people being in a
Mhm.
shared space. What have you
Yeah.
seen?
What have I seen? I think that I've also had periods in my life where I was working alone at home with my remote team. And I also have had periods where I was in the environment with other creative people. I think ideally there would be a mixture of both. That, like me as a creative person, I sometimes need to go back to my cave, as they say,
Yes.
and just do my thing and not to be distracted by anyone and have like complete silence. In a way, that's actually when I'm able to come up with good ideas. And but then when I need to bring them out or implement them or bring them out into the world, I need to work with people, and I have this urge to be around people. And so I really need both of these modes of operation. So I wouldn't say like either just that or just that is the best way. Personally, for me, it's like a bit of that and a bit of that is the perfect mix.
Yes, a little bit of pulsing.
Yes,
The metronome
exactly.
going back and forth and back and forth. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
I like that
Or maybe
dynamic.
the seesaw in your old home backyard gym, like you said.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
You sound like a
Yes.
great person to be in the room and fuel some creativity. How can we get in touch
Thanks.
with you, Egle, and learn more about you and your work?
Yeah, the best way is to check out my website, karalyte.com, or you can follow me on Instagram. It's egle.karalyte. That's the Instagram username. Or you'll find the link on my website as well.
Yeah, for sure. And we'll put
Yeah,
these links in the show notes so people can find
yeah.
them as well. What a great conversation. I've really enjoyed talking with you. And thinking ahead,
Same
Egle,
here.
what do you see as a project maybe that you've been thinking about, contemplating, that you can't wait to apply some new creative muscle to?
Yeah, I love that concept, creative muscle. Bloomerang is this project. Like I've created it really with the mission to help other creators take their ideas out into the world and to give a new and fresh format for doing that in the form of a game. So that's my mission now, is to take it out as far as I can and share it with the world.
And
Yeah,
we
thank
wait
you.
to get an update. So come back and tell us how it's gone, say in Berlin Design Week and other places you're presenting this. Love to hear how it's going for you.
Thank you, Mark. I will. Thank you for having
Absolutely.
me on the show.
It's always good to talk to people who've lived and worked and traveled in these places. I too get a lot of creative battery recharging from this sort of travel. So all the best in that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You bet. And listeners, come back again next time as we continue to stamp our creative passports in places far and wide to learn how creatives are getting inspired and launching their work out into the world. We're unlocking your world of creativity. And we'll see you next time.
Unlocking Your World of Creativity with best-selling author and brand innovator Mark Stinson. This program was produced by BSB Media, creators of IntelliKey Leadership Stories, Unlocking Your World of Creativity, and thepeaceroom.love. If you like this podcast, here's another show that you'll like from BSB Media, The Patients Speak, Healthcare Innovations Accelerating the Patient Journey. It features interviews with healthcare leaders, patient advocates, medical providers, and researchers. Presented by 83 Bar. Look for The Patient Speak on your favorite podcast app.